Hello.
And welcome to Questers of Yalpelor. Welcome everyone. That was well done. Nice.
I had to go
Welcome to
quite
Questers
a
of
little long.
Yalpelor.
A little long.
Questers of Yalpelor is a weekly online
Welcome to
improvised.
Questers of Yalpelor.
Still going. We're still going.
We're never not going. It's why we're all dead and alive.
Well,
On our bullshit
Wanted,
24/7.
wanted, dead and alive.
So Questers of Yalpelor, as I was just saying, it's a weekly online improvised adventure game comedy show. My name is Itamar. I'm your host and game master, and these are four of the most hilarious improvisers and actors that I could gather from all over the world to travel through the lands of Yalpelor with me. We have with us tonight Matt, playing Grubble Bumblin Esquire, a quarterling bubblemancer desperately seeking to reclaim his family fortune. We have Jada playing Triss, a nebulous summoning who's only recently gained sentience, now gleefully exploring life and Yalpelor with their new friends. We have Talia playing Aklis Darkmoor, traveling Death Knight with an ancestral sword and lots of family history. And we have Trent playing Dirt Hotbelly. His father is an angel, his mother is a volcano, and he's 100% half Rock Buddy. These players are here not just to play their characters, but also to invent and flesh out new details in the game world, to play other characters, segue into unexpected scenes, and all in all make my job as game master more interesting and chaotic than it would otherwise be. The game system we're using is Macchiato Monsters. It's an old school game in the style of Dungeons & Dragons. The character portraits you're seeing on screen right now are done by Shani Grimm. The music that you will hear is from tabletopaudio.com. All the links to all the things of all the awesome people are down below, that you can go there and check them for yourself. And I think it is time to hear a word from our sponsor tonight.
Yes, tonight we have been generously sponsored by the Dutch Board of Vegetable Promotion. They've managed to get a song into Eurovision all about getting people to eat their greens and know really the value of their greens. So when you listen to the Dutch entry to Eurovision, remember, you know about broccoli, you know about broccoli, you know about broccoli.
But they still don't know how to eat it.
Perfect. Yes. Okay, thank you very much. That's awesome. I did not know that tidbit, and I'm not sure yet how much of that was true. I have the feeling that all of it. But
You'll find out how much when you listen to the song.
Right, I see. Yeah, so I'll go right after we're done tonight. I'll go and check it out myself. It seems like it's gonna be worth it. Thank you, Matt, and we will begin shortly. Let's have a quick reminder because we were off last week. I was streaming solo, and we were writing some awesome monsters who are going to populate an entire area of the world of Yalpelor. There's like a cool beginning of a bestiary of another area. I'm not even going to say which area it was because I don't want to spoil you, but the ideas were so creative and so bizarre and awesome and unique that I can't wait for you to get there.
You did ruin for us that it was a desert. You
I
said
did?
that.
Oh,
What?
okay.
You told
So-
us
I didn't
twice
know that.
it was a desert.
To
In
be
the
fair, yeah,
messages. If you
Jada
read the
ruined that for me
messages,
because I didn't
Matt.
know before.
Jada ruined that for me because I literally
It
had
was
no
in
idea.
the messages.
Itamar wrote it, but I definitely forgot it.
Yeah, I probably wrote it in some messages, and it was actually the title of the stream as well. So if you saw it on Facebook, also you would have seen it.
Jada, how does Breaking Bad end? Why don't you tell us that?
Well, you see, they're really happy. I didn't really watch it. I'm assuming it's about drugs, and so they're really happy.
It's fine. I'm gonna do more of these streams, and
They
there's gonna be
break
more
bad
and more
in order
areas.
to make good.
It's all about hip hop and like breaking, like crunking on floors.
Yes.
I've actually seen it and I watched it to the end, but I will say that it would have been a better show if it was just about Jesse.
Oh, well.
Hot take.
Welcome to TV Hot Takes with the Questers of Yalpelor.
TV hot takes.
Unpopular takes, I think. I do love Bryan Cranston with all my heart, but
Let's invite Bryan Cranston. Let's have him as a guest player.
I like Branston Pickle.
What?
Nothing. Carry on.
All right. I will carry on.
still on the
I will
Dutch
then.
version.
I will carry on.
My wayward son.
So, because we were off, I think there needs to be a little reminder of what happened last time. You went into a deeper
For the
part-
audience's sake.
Yeah,
Exactly.
the performers remember.
You being the audience, of course. So, it's right now you're in a bit of a pickle because you've gone into
Branston pickle.
a deeper part of the jungle. This part was both Atlas and Dirt felt something was off. Each of them in their own for their own abilities, their own way. In this area of the jungle, Dirt also conversed with some trees who also made some creepy observations. And because it
Just
was
makes the trees sound like old pedophiles.
because you needed to go in there, you're suspecting that the goal of your current quest is there. You decided to venture in anyway. You're on the cart, you're using Dirt spell to clear the jungle in front of you, and you encountered some creatures who did not respond to your attacks the way that you expected it to. When you dealt damage to them, instead of taking the damage, I mean, they were wounded, but then they just regrew and became even more charged with life. And that happened to you as well when you started to take damage from their attacks. That caused two of you to fall unconscious. Instead of getting to 0 hit points, it's when you got too much full of life. You got healed over your maximum and a lot over your maximum and way too much. So Triss and Atlas fell and are now being dragged in the back of the wagon with Grubble and with Welk, while Dirt is running next to the wagon, and you are you're running for a few minutes, Dirt, until you realize that it's going to be a little bit hard for you to keep up if you're running at a brisk pace. So you either need to change the pace at which you're going, or you need to climb the wagon or somehow do something to haste yourself.
So I think as soon as when you're like breathing heavy and it starts to hurt in the esophagus too much, so like 8 steps in, as soon as Dirt feels that, he'll hop onto the wagon.
Okay.
Like,
Cool.
that coarse breathing.
And Marigold does not enjoy it.
Yeah, the wagon rattles with Dirt jumping on top of it, and Marigold gets pulled back for a second there before she keeps going. Grubble, what kind of pace are you setting for this? Are you going as quickly as possible? Like, is Marigold? I mean, she can't really gallop, but she can go quickly. Is it as quickly as she can?
So the intention was to make sure we got away from those creatures that kept coming back to life when we were killing them.
Yeah. Okay, so
as soon as we lose them, I'll be happy to slow down for Marigold's sake. But until we lose them, we got to keep going.
Okay. Let's roll wisdom for you, Grubble, because you're leading. Let's see how well you lead the group through the jungle while you need to go really quickly. And yeah,
I'm not the wisest member of this party.
right. So
Actually, I almost am. No one's particularly wise.
yeah, wisdom's
Not
not
really.
your strong suit in this party at all.
I should have known.
No one's much better than you are.
No.
So
I was going to say, I think Dirt and I, in terms of wisdom,
Yeah.
are even
Yeah.
more intelligent.
Instum.
I mean, look at the numbers. The numbers don't lie. So
Like my hips.
you lead. You set a brisk pace as much as possible until you think you left these creatures behind. You then notice that Marigold is starting to get tired. You let her stop for a second, and you stop and rest. You look around, and you don't know exactly which direction you were going these past few minutes. You're not sure you're still going in the same way you were, and I'll describe the situation around you again. There is a path you're going through because Dirt spell is effective throughout the day, and it just clears a path wherever Marigold is going. and it's just a straight, narrow, straight path, just wide enough for the wagon. But around you, this jungle that you're in is just full of growth of any kind, of all colors, sizes, flowers, bushes, plants seem to be not in their regular size. They're both bigger. Some of them seem to be in different shapes, different colors. So there's large blooms of multicolored, like they're multicolored themselves, like single plants that are both purple, yellow, orange, green, and the trees are very wide and they're all covered in vines and growing things on them. Every clear piece of earth that you can see is covered in grass, mold, moss, anything else that grows, and the plants seem to grow on top of each other. If you didn't have this spell, even without the wagon, it would have been a problem to go through this undergrowth. Now this spell is the only thing that allows you to move comfortably. And that means you also cannot see to any distance because this undergrowth is taller than you are. So this is what you're seeing when you look around. There's a path behind you. In front of you, the path just ends where the spell, like at the range of the spell, a few meters ahead of you, and that's all you can see.
Right.
Yeah.
Wilk, Dirt, we need to put our brains together and figure something out here.
Right.
Triss and Aklis are too alive. They're too alive.
What does that mean?
I don't know. I just know, like, I'm feeling it myself. I'm full of more life energy than I should be. It's too much. It's overpowering.
I have an idea, but you're not going to like it. But I think it's a good idea.
Will honestly, Dirt. I will listen to any idea at this point.
How generous of you.
You're dismissing your own idea too soon, Dirt. Like, don't be so hard on yourself. You're a tactical genius.
Here is the thing, right? Is I can make more Pathify, but first, if I do that, then I will be almost like for real dead. But I think that if I were to get hit a little bit of damage right now, then I would maybe heal from the damage enough where I could then use the spell without getting actually damaged. Do you know what I'm saying? As long as you don't hurt me too much.
I do, but when we were in that fight, I tried using magic, and when I used magic, I gained extra life energy into myself when I did it. Does that make sense?
Okay, so then I think because it cost me enough. Okay, I just do it. I use Pathify to make a path to get us out of here.
So you already have Pathify. It's on, right?
Yeah, but you said the path ended.
It ended because you stopped.
Because we've stopped.
Oh, I see.
If we keep
I
moving.
misunderstood.
Yeah. It's gonna happen throughout the day. Just you can't see ahead. Is my point.
I misunderstood.
Right, but the problem is Triss and Aklis, because if they stay too alive, I don't know, and I think in particular this can't be good for a Death Knight.
You know, I think that we should come up with like a name for the two of them. It would make things faster when we're referring to them. Like, you know, like a singular name for both of them. Trisklis? Triclis?
Aklisteris.
Acris. Aclisteris.
Aklisteris.
We need to come up with something to save time.
Wilk, you really need to help. Help, Wilk.
I feel a bit weird. Something weird happened during that fight.
Right, no, we're getting the name first, Wilk. Come on.
You know,
it's a matter of urgency.
Something just whispered into my ear, Trackless, and I think that's pretty good.
Trackless, right.
Trackless.
Good, we've solved it.
Trackless, yeah, that
now we
sounds
can
good.
move on to the next problem. How do we save Trackless? You're a healer. Are you not a healer? Are you a healer?
Dirt?
Wilk?
Oh.
You're a healer.
But I'm kind of afraid of what will happen because I don't know how this will work. I didn't even know I had this ability until today.
Oh, for God's sake! Right, that's God's plural, by the way.
If you tell me, I will try to use it.
Well, we don't want them to have more life. We want their life to come down, healing is a way of giving them more hit points. If you were to imagine, oh my god, I didn't pay enough attention in healing class. They told us in healing class it's about hit points, and you think of things like hit points.
Okay, seems like an unnecessarily abstract way of looking at it, but okay.
They're very abstract in Magglehampton.
Yeah,
They do things
okay.
in a very strange way. If you want to study healing, you have to think in terms of hit points. But right, I do remember if you get cursed or if you get damaged by a lich, then they bring down your maximum hit points, and that would, if we cursed them, then they would stop being too alive and they'd be alive again. Is anyone following?
Curse
I'm
them?
sorry, I'm panicking.
Curse them.
Gremble, I will listen to any idea that you have.
Thank you. I appreciate that. But I'm not sure I'm coming up with anything as brilliant as your tactical mind, because I'm just stressed out.
So maybe we need to kill them for them to come back to life again as babies.
But if they were babies, they wouldn't be much help to us.
No, but then, at least they would be alive again. Except Tris probably can't be a baby.
Yeah, Tris probably will be identical to how they are today.
So that's not the problem.
I think if we were to get out of this...
Let's try it on Wilk.
If we were to get out of this life territory and then damage them, then they'd go down in hit points. But if we're stuck here in the middle of nowhere and we haven't got to the life seed, we need them to be useful here.
Okay, just a minute.
Yes.
I'm going to go into a meditative trance and try and ask around if any of the foliage have anything that can help. Like, what I'm thinking of is more like along the lines of a poison that does gradual damage rather than like all damage at once, or something that like a something that could heal, or just see if they have any solutions.
For the record, there was a baboon, which is a fake baboon, and it was just sitting in the tree eating popcorn like Michael Jackson, watching all of this, knowing it had a solution, and no one noticed because y'all are not perceptive.
There was a real life wisdom roll failure here. Anyway, you open up. I'll make you roll in a second, but even before you manage to decipher some kind of meaning, you're hit with a cacophony of sounds. Let's let him have it, friends. Let's do it.
Oh, hello.
What sounds?
I'm full of life.
Jump in the pool. Jump in the pool, and everything will be okay. Grow as big and strong as possible.
Have more sun.
Okay. The wagon shaking clears your head for a second there. Roll wisdom.
That wasn't wagon shaking. That was me stomping my foot to try and cause a tremor to get everything to shut up briefly.
Aren't you on the wagon though?
No, he got off to meditate, no?
Yeah,
Okay.
he did.
He got closer to the
You're
earth.
causing a tremor. Do you want to actually make a spell out of it? Actually cast a spell?
No, it's more like parents yelling at the dinner table to get everyone shut up.
Okay.
Stomping your foot, wouldn't you be then the kid at the dinner table?
I mean, in Dirt's culture, foot stomping is a sign of commanding presence.
Asserting dominance.
We'll talk about what
Start of
Dirt's
Amanami.
culture is in a future episode. Meanwhile, roll wisdom with advantage, please.
Okie dokie. Can do. Double success.
Double success. Cool. So you succeed, meaning the tremor, which still shakes the wagon that you're all on. So you grumble. You feel it, and Wilk jumps a little.
Wilk.
And then the ground shakes, and there's like a ripple that goes out, and everything goes quiet for a second. You then hear a voice that was a little bit too weak in the background of all the other voices that were talking. And this voice is a familiar one. And it goes, "Hey, oh, nice to see you here as well, man.
Is that a Guy and Gus?
Yeah, it is us.
Hey, my friends, hello.
Look down over here, man."
Hey! And I go and I scoop up the earth that is holding them so I don't have to pluck them.
Sure. So you scoop up a bunch of earth with some of Guy and Gus in it. It's actually because they're mostly underground. Your spell did not clear them from the path. So you've been riding on top of earth that had them growing underground, like fungus often do. So you you find that in this area they are very very widespread. You feel them all around you. And now that everything is shutting up for a second, trying to think about what just happened, you can hear them clearly, and they say, "Oh, you kind of made them angry with what you just did. You still need to learn to control it, man. You still need to learn to control it."
Yeah, look, I'm trying, but I haven't found anybody that can kind of, show me the way. It would be nice if there were like a mentor archetype in this scenario who could, show me the way and maybe just pop in every now and then to tell me how I'm doing.
Well, yeah, sure. Well, we kind of hope you find that as well. But for now, look, the only reason we're not affected is because we're not technically plants or animals. But you're doomed as long as you stay here.
Okay, so is there like a thing that I could do? Maybe, remember last time that I ate your friends, then I got all like weird and stuff for a little bit? Would that help?
Yeah, you can try to do that, but I don't know what the result is going to be.
I try it. I find... I asked them.
It's like the last second before you already have them. Like you already almost take a bite. You hear them go, "Wait, man, we have another suggestion."
Oh, see? A mentor archetype. Okay. I'm listening.
Oh, it's
sage.
just a suggestion. We can't teach you how to use your powers. You need to find someone else for that. But I guess we can suggest that maybe, just maybe, you can go closer to where the tree is.
But I don't know where the tree is. You were not particularly helpful last time.
Yeah, well, we're very close to it, and we feel that it's very close, but we're not alive. You are. You can probably find it.
But if I eat you, or maybe like one of the elders in your community, would that help?
I mean, it'll screw you up the same way it did before. Maybe that'll be helpful.
Okay, I try it.
Okay.
Who should I take? Who do you not care about anymore?
Oh, we're all everywhere. It's not just me or him. It's just all of us everywhere. Just take a bite.
While Dirt's been having a conversation with a mushroom, I've been muttering to myself about hit points.
Yeah.
Have I managed to remember anything from healing class at Magglehampton University?
Roll intelligence with advantage. Your education definitely applies.
Right, I succeed.
This is a very important detail we just made up. Healing magic actually teaches about hit points in Yalpelor.
Well, it's like a philosophical concept of how alive somebody is.
Yeah.
If you drop below 1 hit point, you fall unconscious.
Mm-hmm.
Can we see the point where Grebel learned from his teacher about hit points? Is that something that we can take a quick look at?
It was Professor Batari's.
Let's go back.
I don't really know why I'm sitting here in healing class. I don't feel like I get anything out of it. Why? When am I ever going to have to heal anyone?
Grapple.
Yeah?
Did you do your homework?
No.
Ah.
I've been focusing on my arithmancy.
Right. Do you know who did? Because I gotta, like, maybe, I need some help, man.
I did my homework.
Oh, can I look at that?
Class, do try to pay attention, please. I was just explaining about temporary hit points.
Boring.
Temporary hit points are what happens when you are healed through certain healing spells that can actually make you healthier than the point you started. Make you
More like
healthier
healing
than
smells.
your healthiest self. Excuse me? Were you saying something?
I said healing smells.
Oh well.
My dad
Professor.
bought this wing of the school.
Sorry, yes, you at the front, what were you saying?
Thank you, Professor. I appreciate it. What I was going to say is, in last lecture, didn't you tell us that there were specific ways around Yalpelorian lands that can actually like improve or even decrease your hit points artificially?
Yes, that's true, and some of these might actually give you temporary hit points. That is absolutely correct. However, some of these areas might be a little more sinister and require more caution when you walk through them. Because some of these
Professor?
areas might drain some of your hit points. That means that no matter what healing spells you use, you will never be healed to full health, as long as you are in certain areas. Yeah.
Can you like real quickly go over the hit points part again? Because I don't think I got that. Like, what
More like
are
shit
they?
points.
I mean, yeah, hit points are complicated enough without adding them temporary ones.
Unfortunately, that is a fact of life. Through ever since the very first editions of our kingdom, temporary hit points were a thing.
Hey, teacher,
Yes.
is it like every couple of months, like maybe if you've like completed some like really important life goal that like you get more hit points? Oh, my dad was saying something like that.
Oh, it is a very well-known fact that more powerful and important people have more hit points to spare.
I got 74. No big deal. I took a hit point test. You know.
Oh, well, very well done. 74 means you're quite formidable.
My
yes,
parents
more
actually
questions?
told
Yours
me.
took a hit point test for you. The HSAT.
No, it was me. My parents actually said they didn't want to tell me the results of my hit point test, so they didn't want it to go to my head in case, they thought like, oh, I'm supposed to live up to this, really high HP or whatever, but
Maybe
it's
they just
cool.
didn't think you'd understand it.
Oh yeah, try it. Punch me. That's what I thought.
So,
Wilden, how
yeah,
many hit
let's
points
hear
do
one
you
more
have?
question, and then I'll move on to the next part of the class. Yes, please.
Is this gonna be on the test?
All of it is going to be on the test, of course.
Oh man.
Always say.
So,
Cut to herbology right before Defense Against the Dark Arts.
one more. What a ridiculous lesson. Nobody needs to know that. Okay, anyway, one more detail that's very, very important to remember. When you have temporary hit points, they are often connected not only to the health of your body, but also to more spiritual things. Your morale, your general sense of joy and happiness in life, your level of energy and willingness to go on. Very often, temporary hit points can be affected by these attributes, and not
We
just your
slowly
health
fade
level.
back to the scene where Grebel is saying this along with the teacher in the same voice, kind of sharing this, like it's like from rote somehow deep inside.
Go on, it's tomorrow and I'll join in.
Often enough,
Often
it
enough,
has
there
more to
are
do with
More to do with
your level of energy
level of
and morale, and
energy and
not
morale, and
only how
not only
physically
how
healthy you
physically
are.
healthy you are.
Grebel, what are you talking about?
Just, I mean, I have partial, total memory recall.
Okay. Like selective.
Selective total memory. It also depends on how many recreational herbs Kyleton gave me on that particular day.
Could you maybe shut the fuck up? Because I'm trying to talk to these mushrooms here.
Oh, sorry.
and it's
Yeah,
hard.
carry on.
There's enough fucking cacophony,
Right. Well, you talk to your mushrooms, and I'll have a quiet conversation with Wilk.
Okay, so let's have your conversation with Wilk a little bit, and then we'll go back to Gus and Guy.
Right. So what I vaguely remember is that it's to do with your faith and your happiness and these temporary hit points. So maybe if we made Trackless really really sad, then they'd come back. Or if oh god, I literally just partially recalled these words and they've already gone. Or if we gave them somehow temporary hit points as opposed to what they've currently got, which is too many hit points, then maybe they'd come back to life. So I want to try the sadness thing first and then the temporary hit points thing.
I think it'd be pretty hard to make Aklis sad, but maybe angry would be easier.
Oh, right, that's true.
Maybe
We could make
gloomy.
Chris
They
sad.
seem very gloomy all the time.
True.
Who?
Gloomy. They seem gloomy very often.
Right. I suppose by playing into the gloomy, we might actually make Aklis happy.
Oh, that's right.
Aklis! Oh, what a beautiful rainbow! Oh, I love how sunny and bright it is today, and look at how jolly everybody is.
Yes, now that you are not conscious, Aklis, we can finally put you towards the chaotic uses. Hooray, it's time to throw you to the chaos. As they say.
As much as this might have worked if they were unconscious, they can't hear you right now, so that doesn't work.
Oh
Just
no.
saying these things doesn't work.
What if I shove the mushrooms in their mouth?
I mean, something might happen or not.
Yeah.
I don't know what.
Or I might choke and die.
That's one of the options of what might happen. Yeah.
They're awake.
I lean down to Triss and I whisper in Triss's ear, "Not everyone likes you."
Again, unconscious.
Very unconscious, but in your heart, Grubble, you feel like a little bit of hope die.
A fairy somewhere around the world loses her wings.
Okay, so your idea didn't work.
Yeah, let's cut to Dirt in the mushroom.
You cut just as a mushroom.
And it's like this little baby mushroom, so what you hear is
Oh, that's sad. No, wait, I hate mushrooms.
Okay. I mean, you. The same thing as before happens. It's not to all of you now. It's just you, Dirt. It's just you, and you gain. You gain some, as if it's like a reagent, right? So you gain some hit points in order to power some spells or powers that have to do with your new affiliation to nature, right? Your Earth Whisperer spells. So roll a D8.
D8.
D8, yes.
Momentum. Moment.
Right,
4.
so you have 4 hit points to power a nature spell.
Okay. I don't have very many. I have Crevice and Pathify for Manipulate Earth.
So
But I don't
that's
know
specific
many
uses, but the
spells.
spell in general is Manipulate Earth, so you can manipulate Earth in more creative ways.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. I didn't think this through, but maybe I can try to. What are we trying to do? We're trying to find the tree, right? So I'm going to tell the tree. I'm going to say, root up, and I'm gonna try and use a spell to get the tree to raise its roots, so we can follow them to the tree.
The tree that you're looking for?
No,
The
a
tree
nearby
of life.
tree. No.
The tree of life.
A life
no?
tree, yeah.
Isn't it-
I mean, it's okay. I would say that you need to know where it is before you can do that.
Okay, I will then I will go to the trees and I'll say, listen, trees. Look, here's the thing is, I know because I heard it from Radio Lab, which is like a pretty cool storytelling around the fireplace experience, that the trees can talk to each other through the root systems. The systems that they allow them to actually say things to each other. So what I want you to do is I want you to reach out from root to root to root to root to root to the tree of life the giving tree. What is it called anyway? The big tree with the life and the apples, and I want you to help it to show itself, and so that we can find to it.
Cool. So I think this could be a divination spell where you're asking trees to give you an answer to a specific question that they can sense around them, something that they can actually access through their underground connections, their network of roots they have underground. Let's call this spell
Divinatory. That was just an idea.
Divinatory is amazing.
Divinatory?
Divinatory is amazing. Exactly like that. So call it Divinatory. Write it under your... it's not a spell. It's a use of the your existing spell. So write it down under your Manipulate Earth. Which you use alongside your Earth Whisperer Earth Whisperer trait in order to be able to speak with these trees. It costs 4 hit points, which is exactly what you have to power from the mushrooms you consumed. And now you need to roll Wisdom to see if you manage to cast it successfully. You get advantage on this roll because of the mushrooms you just ate.
Hell yeah. Nice.
This advantage does not help you.
Drugs always help.
Roll on the chaos table in order to try to get
Chaos
some success anyway. Okay, so I'm going to open the Chaos Surge table. If you don't want to see it, you can look away. Okay, that's it. It's away. You can look back at the screen, my dear players. Okay, so the Chaosometer is a D7 right now, so roll a D7, please. 7. Nice. Wow, you've got a lot of 7s in this game, I think, since we introduced the Chaosometer. It's BAM! You succeed and get double the desired effect. So not only does a spell succeed and you do the Divinatory successfully, you get double the desired effect. Now, what is double? Knowing where something is. So first of all, you know that the tree is that way. You're able to exactly pinpoint the direction and the distance the tree is from you. You realize that it's not particularly close, but if you pick up the pace and you walk for another hour or so, you're gonna get there. With the wagon, of course, being dragged by Marigold. But also, you learn more. And what you learn is the closer you get to the tree, the more life, which Grebel's professor would call hit points, your body can sustain. The more you can go above your normal hit points before you fall unconscious. But also you see that there are many creatures there that have been living that way for a while. So they are predatory animals, very dangerous, stalking around the life tree. The closer you get, the more dangerous it's going to be to walk around, just to exist, to live around this tree.
So I'm gonna assume that as we're walking, I'm learning this from like the trees in like they're following us, kind of like speaking tree to tree to tree as we go by, like in like this cool stereo.
Without this spell, by the way, these trees would not want to cooperate. They're just as corrupted as the rest of this jungle. They're full of life to the brim. They're effectively insane. They can't. They're not like regular trees. All they want to do is grow endlessly to fill the whole world.
To life.
Yeah.
So I'm going to as we do this, I'm going to say to Grebel, here's the thing: is that you were talking about hit points, right? And I think I kind of understand. And like, I would say that I have like 8 that I could still heal before going over my normal one. So maybe if you'd like, I don't know, stab me in the foot or something, then I can heal a little bit before we go to the thing. Because there's going to be big monsters there. And monsters are scary because it's just you and me. And I don't think that I can use that transformer.
This is true. Right. But what you're also telling me is that if we get closer to the tree, then the other 2 will regain consciousness, right? You're explaining that.
Maybe.
Right. I will quite happily stab you in the foot if you think that'll help.
I do.
Okay. We'll stand perfectly still, and then I don't have to do a roll to try and hit you, I assume.
Yeah, if he doesn't Resist, of course.
Right, you said 4. Now the thing is, my Swiss knife could do up to 6.
I could take 8.
Okay, great. I'll attack.
Heal me with your blade.
I stab you in the foot
4-3.
for 3.
Okay.
I mean, I trust you. You seem to understand hit points better than me, and I went to classes on it, and I didn't get it. So, you know, as I always said, Dirt is some kind of savant.
Give me another.
So Dirt, you
But if
yeah
I
you
give
gain
you another
3.
and
You-
do maximum
Okay.
damage, it'll knock you unconscious.
Okay. I'm fine. Okay. You know,
Okay.
I just thought that maybe now actually I could take fewer hit points if we fight something, and so maybe this was a bad idea. It's okay. Let's see what happens.
I trusted you.
I could just cast a spell, and then I go down in the hit points, and then I have more points to be hit.
Right, but
Slowly,
they-
slowly, gradually, while you're walking, Triss and Aklis wake up. It's not sudden. You slowly come to and realize that you're on the wagon. It's slowly shaking as it's being dragged. You're still in the jungle. And even though you're going to be groggy for a couple of minutes when you wake up, you're still filled with this energy. You're filled with this life force, which is unceasing, pulsing in your ears, trying to make you go further, jump, run, fight, do anything you do just twice as hard. Grubble, yeah?
When I see Aklis stirring, I go up to them and I say, while you were asleep, you were sleep talking and saying how you wanted Wilk to be your best friend forever.
Very droll, Grubble.
Are we still trying to make them angry?
Well, I thought it might help.
How long was I out?
About an hour. It took us a long time of panicking to figure out how to get you back. You were
And
too alive, Aklis.
How did you get us back?
Well, Dirt, with his tactical wisdom,
Right.
out that the closer we get to the life tree, the more maximum hit points your body can cope with.
And what are hit points?
Did the flashback thing when you were passed out, where we all understood.
Oh, right, I missed
I'll
that because I was
explain it
passed
later.
out.
I'll explain it later using my partial total memory recall.
Right then.
So,
So, how far away are we?
About an hour.
as we walk, I'm going to cast group intimidation, which costs 4 HP, just to make us seem more formidable to the beasts in this woods.
Ooh, so this is not at a target. It's on you to make you seem more threatening. That's very cool. I think I would like to call it a different use of the Omni spell. It's
Sure.
Group intimidation is intimidating a group and making them scared right now. Making you more threatening is a different thing. It's still going to cost 4. I don't think it needs to cost more than that. And it makes an entire group of you more intimidating, which means mostly, like, mechanically it's like advantage on rolls to try to intimidate things and make them scared of you or run them, like turn them away. And narratively, it's just you're all gonna look more threatening. So
Can it be called cosplay?
does it does it involve costumes?
No, but it's role playing.
Role playing is
We
it?
just
Yeah.
call it osplay. Ominous roleplay.
So find whatever name it's gonna be clear for you, and you remember it next time.
I'll throw it to the chat to the
Yeah, right.
Twitch chat to see if someone has an idea of what it should be called.
Cool. What is an aura of intimidation? What should it be called? But while this is happening in chat, let's keep doing it. So pay for or use your chaos faith die, also a possibility. By the way, I didn't update the chaosometer, which would be on 8 right now.
That's true. Itamar, I don't remember from the last game when I used a reagent in the last battle. Did that didn't cost me any? That didn't like damage me, right?
No, a reagent
So if I would
doesn't interact with your hit points at all.
Perfect. So if we encounter a battle, I can use a reagent and I can use the magic from that
And you won't get
Without-
healed up.
without overhealing myself. Perfect.
Yes. Dirt, you cast the spell without using a reagent or your faith die. I understand.
Correct.
Okay, so you gain 4 hit points. Does that get you to more than your maximum?
No.
It doesn't. Okay, cool. So you fail casting the spell. Do you want to use the Chaosometer?
Sure.
Sure thing. Roll a d8 this time. Chaosometer goes up and up.
This is gonna be good, right? Everyone agrees.
4. We already have had 4 a couple of times as well. Lame. Your action fails and you embarrass yourself. So you try to cast an aura of intimidation. Instead of that, you make yourself seem. How do you make yourself seem different than what you intended?
Vulnerable, incredibly vulnerable. We seem like puny little nothings that are open to attack.
So just you specifically,
great.
Jet. Only you seem vulnerable and like a comfortable attack for a comfortable target for attack. So that
I think
happens.
that it worked, guys.
Guys,
You all
I
see
feel
it. You
like-
all notice that this is what the spell did. Grubble, yeah.
I feel like I should probably give Dirt a hug. I'm just gonna. I don't know. I just feel. I'm just gonna go give Dirt a hug, and I get down off the cart and I go give Dirt a hug.
Okay.
It burns.
Yeah.
You give Dirt a hug. You look over Dirt's shoulder as you do, and you just see the shape emerging from the bushes. It was trying to sneak up on you. You just looked at the right direction, in the right direction at the right time, and it's a huge animal that seems like a panther, only it has 6 feet. It's totally black, and it has 2 like weird hunting arms, like tentacles, from its shoulders that are yeah, they end in like spiky surfaces in the end, and it's like very large. It's the size of about
It's a displacer beast.
the size of a pony. Yeah,
an
it is a
Octopanther.
displacer beast. So yeah, you see it stalking, and it's ready to pounce any second. What do you do, Grubble?
I go, everyone! There's an Octopanther behind us.
Octopanther it is.
I draw my sword.
Okay.
I mean, I don't know what it is. It's just how I'm describing it.
All right. You get up on your feet, Achilles. In the middle of the wagon, you draw Transformer. It goes, yeah. Triss, what do you do?
Triss
You're-
has been very silent because Triss is very confused. Triss doesn't know where they are, and Triss doesn't know who you are. Triss is just very, very confused because Triss has never been asleep. Triss has never been unconscious. So, like,
Oh.
when all of the life stuff happened, Triss went to a bad place. And so Triss is literally just sitting in the cart, not saying anything, in a ball, and no one's noticed.
Oh no.
Okay.
And so Triss is going to look at the Octopanther that is all black and think that, oh, maybe that's what they're supposed to be. And they're going to mimic it and go towards it because clearly they seem like a friend.
Okay. Mimic
Clearly.
and go towards the Octopanther. Cool. Dirt, what do you do when you hear this warning?
I turn and I look at it, and I'm going to hide behind Aklis
Okay.
and support them and help them.
Oh, help. I see what you're trying to do. I see where you're going, which, by the way, reminds me, this went up to 9 because you used it. Okay. You're giving them help. We'll see in a second how you give them help because... and then, so Grebel, Dirt kind of wriggles away from the hug. Do you stay in front of the panther, or do you go somewhere else and do something else?
I shout out to Wilk. Get to the front lines, Wilk, and heal it. And then I'm gonna use a reagent to get some magic. And if I have time to do anything else, I'd probably use my jumping boots and try and get into the tree.
Okay. So you can use your rage, and it doesn't cost you an action, so you can also jump up into one of the trees to do that.
Excellent.
I'll remind you the trees are not as... they're quite sparse in this part of the jungle. There's a few meters between them. They are very, very tall, but they're covered in so many vines, and some of them are quite thick, that there's going to be lots of leg and handholds there, so you can like hang on to them. It's not going to be as comfortable as standing on a branch, because the branches are very tall, but you can still do that. Especially seeing as you're so acrobatic. So, so the first action... So, Dirt, you just go behind Aklis. Triss is walking forward. And also, Wilk walks to the edge of the wagon, the same corner you were on. It seems like... floating forward. But Wilk is walking. You see Wilk walking forward. She seems terrified, and then she goes. She looks at the panther, and she says, "Bad kitty, sit down." There is a little flash of light coming from the direction of her pointed finger that she's wagging towards the panther, and the panther stops for a second, dead in its tracks. It seems to be... It puts his head down towards its feet on the ground. Seems to be unsure what to do exactly. For real, seems like it's been stopped, which means, Triss, you can do your thing. You want to use your mimic ability?
Triss was already mimicking. Like, Triss walked to the Octopanther as an Octopanther, but more... Again, within the confines of Triss, which means that Triss kind of looks like a bebe Octopanther.
So we're talking about the same round. It's still the same thing that you described before. It's not a new round.
Yeah,
so...
but when Triss left the cart, Triss was an Octopanther.
Cool. So you walk, you float through the cart. We see Triss just in the regular shape floating towards the edge of the cart, and then when they climb up, they're the shape of a panther. Spend one of your mimic ability uses, and you walk down to the ground. The panther was gonna pounce. Now it isn't attacking yet. What do you do?
Triss walks up to the Octopanther and purrs against it, but like an octopurr, right? So it's a little different.
It's an octopurr.
Yeah. Oh, it sounds like this.
It's Triss's version. That's perfect.
Are you simultaneously purring an octave apart from yourself? 8 notes.
Nice.
And sort of starts winding around the Octopanther, like using its little tentacles to like rub at it, and sort of winding around like a little baby Octopanther.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Yeah, I mean, it purrs against you. Roll charisma to see how well you're doing, and get advantage because you used your ability. Excellent, that's a success. A 3 is a success, which means that, it responds quite well, and it starts rubbing against you like its neck and shoulders like cats do. You look around, Aklis. You're ready to go. You're raring to stab or kill or punch something, and you notice the companion to this panther, the one that you weren't supposed to see until a little later, creeping up against, like from the other side, like it's right against the side of the wagon because again the undergrowth is so close. What do you do?
Okay, who's the second Octopanther?
Mm-hmm.
Who's it closest to?
Dirt and Grebel. Actually, Grebel jumped away to hang on one of the trees.
Hanging on a branch.
Yeah, so I think you should roll... should you roll for this? No, I think you can just do it. It's fine. You just hanging on a branch up above. So Dirt is behind you, and he's closest to the Octopanther.
Okay, so what I'm gonna do is 3 things. I'm gonna do 2 attacks on the one in front of me, and I'm gonna distract the one in front of me so that whoever attacks it next gets an advantage. And also, I'm gonna goad the other one into attacking me, and if they attack anyone other than me until the end of my next turn, they get disadvantage.
Excellent, but these are two different maneuvers. They're going to cost you 2 attacks.
Yeah, so 2 attacks. Don't I have 4 attacks?
You have 4 attacks.
Yeah, I have 4.
You can
so
attack
2
twice.
attacks, and 1 goad and 1 distract.
Okay, so it's all the same panther you're targeting with all of these abilities, right? Or
No. I'm distracting the one in front of me so that whoever attacks it has advantage.
Which
and I'm
one is the one in front
other
of you?
one. I don't know, one of them. The one that's that we first saw.
The one that you first saw. I will
Yeah.
remind you that Triss is now kind of communicating with it through purrs and rubbing against each other in a friendly, catful way.
Fine. Okay.
Also
I'll
stopped in its tracks.
I'll go for the other one, and I'll just. This is really hard. I want to kill them.
You can.
I'm gonna go for the other one that Triss is not talking to, and I'm just gonna go for it for attacks.
It's just trying to climb the wagon right now, so you can just come up from above it and attack it.
For attacks.
Go for it. Dirt, do you want to help them do that?
Yeah. I'm gonna help by being intimidating in the background to try and get it to freeze.
Cool. What does that look like? Perfect. That's very intimidating. You're not sure if it's intimidated or confused, but whatever it is, Aklis, you get advantage. Attack with advantage.
Ooh. Yes.
Cool. You got it. So roll all of your damage.
Okay, so
Chaosometer
that's a 1, and that's a 2, and that's a 3 off, and fudge, and that's a 4.
Okay. So you got 2, 6, 1, 7. That's a total of 16 points of damage.
Yeah.
That's very nice. That is 4 formidable slashes to its face, 1 to one of the tentacles, 1 to its front feet, and 1 to its chest. And you wound it quite badly, and then immediately it starts growing. And wherever it was wounded, there's another tentacle coming out. So now it is full of tentacles that come the same kind of shape and size as the 2 ones on its shoulder that are trying to attack you. But it didn't manage to do it this round because you surprised it. It thought it was sneaking up on you while it really wasn't. So, yeah, cool. Next round, let's hear what you're all doing. Let's start with Aklis. What are you going to do?
I don't know, can I go last?
Yeah, you can go last. Dirt, what are you going to do?
Does the chaosometer go down?
The what?
The help? The chaosometer?
For his help.
Sorry, I couldn't hear you.
Does the chaosometer go down because of the help from the last round?
Yep, it did. Down to 8.
Don't say I never did anything for you. So, okay, Dirt
We're
is
generally the ones bringing it down for you. I think it's good. You did a good thing.
Dirt is gonna realize that Dirt doesn't think that hurting them is gonna help because they're only gonna get more formidable as they get more hurt based on the last tentacle growth. So what Dirt wants to do is he wants to create a crevice in the earth to try and trap the panther down so that instead of hurting it, it just incapacitates it. By
gets trapped, yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Sure, do you need to touch the earth to do that, or can you just do it from a distance?
We never said. I probably need to touch the earth, but I'm off the cart right now because I'm standing behind Aklis.
Aklis is on the wagon.
Oh, then I thought I was off the wagon. I thought I was walking the whole time that we were there, but I can also hop off the cart and do that.
Right, so you hop down.
Ooh, I'll do it where landing, 3-point landing, is the thing that hopefully creates the crevice.
Cool, nice. As you're casting the spell, you fall, you
Yes.
drop on the ground. Okay, and there's a noticeable shake. We'll do it in a second. Triss, what is your action?
Triss thinks that they've found, I don't know, family, something.
Mm-hmm.
They're still slowly but surely not waking up, but becoming less dizzy. and maybe they're starting to recognize Dirt and Atlas and Grubble a little bit. But again, the Octopanther seems like a friend, so Triss is just gonna continue to greet and maybe even groom the Octopanther.
Cool. It's not going to require another roll. As long as you keep doing the same thing, you can keep distracting it. Wilk looks at you, puzzled. She seems worried about the other fight going on the other side of the wagon, but she's quite confident Atlas has got it, and she doesn't want to get involved because she's not sure about her powers yet. And she just looks at you doing your thing, very interested about your actions.
And you see like the little tentacles, like the tentacle, like little Triss's tentacles, like the baby Octopanther's tentacles, and the other Octopanther's tentacles are like sort of twining around one another.
Nice, yeah, and it's actually trying to nuzzle you to the ground and groom you with its tongue, like it would expect a little kitten to want to do. Okay, Grubble, what do you do?
Right, so I'm dangling off a branch.
Yeah.
I only got one hand for casting spells.
Yep.
My intention is, I see what Dirt is doing and Atlas, they're going after the other one, and Triss is distracting the one in front of me. I don't realise there's anything strange going on about Triss at all. So I'd like to start making one of my big sticky bubbles. Normally I use two hands for it, so I'm keeping one hand here, and my intention is to take a whole turn over it, so that if I then cast the big sticky bubble at the Octopanther in front of Triss, hopefully it'll be a stronger bubble that's harder to pop out of.
Wait,
you know what I'm saying? So on this turn I'm doing nothing, but hopefully next turn my big sticky bubble will be a stronger bubble and harder for the thing to escape from.
Bubble prepping.
Who are you casting it on?
The one next to Triss.
Next to Triss. It'll be a bit hard to trap only that and not Triss because they're kind of on top of each other.
That's true. Well, that's also why it's not being cast this turn. I'm just trying to form the bubble with one hand.
So we're kind of inventing a new mechanic here, right? You can spend 2 turns casting a spell to get a more specific effect, right? To cast it more precisely or
well,
or
that
better.
plus it's harder to do with one hand.
Oh, you're the reason you're describing it like that is because you only have one hand. I
think
gotta
so. Well,
say,
it's a combination. I'm trying to do both at once. I'm trying to get a stronger spell with a delay, but also it's partially because I can't. Usually I use
honestly,
2 hands for my spells.
as GM, I want to say just go ahead and cast spells with one hand. It's
Sweet.
I don't see a reason why not, but I will let you cast a spell which is more effective if you wait a turn. That's a cool mechanic I'm in favor of.
And I'll hold my bubble wand in one hand, and I'll just be very gently blowing on the bubble wand, and I'm just slowly making a bigger bubble while hanging in the tree.
Right, so let's say it's a more precise effect. You don't get a stronger spell, like it still costs the same hit points, it does the same damage, like the main effect is going to be the same. But if you want to cast a spell with a very precise effect, one that takes a lot of aiming, I will let you do that with no extra checks and without a disadvantage on the roll if you wait an extra turn. That I think is a cool mechanic I'm really in favor of. So you're preparing your spell right now.
That's right.
And okay, yeah, we'll see you. We'll see what happens next turn. Who did we not ask yet? Atlas, what is your action?
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe I'm gonna try and grapple the Octopanther.
Okay.
Sure.
I mean, it
grapple
has about twice as many limbs or 3 times as many limbs as you do right now.
Okay, so.
Okay. Sure. So it's gonna be a strength roll with disadvantage to do that.
Cool.
It has so many more limbs. It's gonna be very hard to grapple. So roll it right now. Let's start with rolling your abilities. So Dirt, pay hit points or roll your faith die to power the spell. and jump down. Oh, do you have a
I
faith
did
die
it.
for that? I don't. Oh, Magmummy can work for that actually.
I'm out of bag mommy, so
Oh, right, it's true. You are out of Magmummy, so you don't have
So-
anything to power this with. It's going to be your own hit points. And remember, you
Which is-
heal up instead of getting losing hit points when you cast this spell.
yeah, this'll be a sacrificial thing. It'll put me over my max.
Yeah, but it doesn't get you to twice your maximum hit points, right? Okay, so that's for now. You start feeling it. So now you feel it yourself. You're the last one who hasn't felt it yet, so you know what it's about now. When the other ones talk about it and they act weird, they seem to be acting weird. You start feeling it yourself now. It's too much life, too much energy, and it's definitely going to be affecting your behavior. Yeah, so you have failed.
Why am I failing on
Aklis, you see, you jump. Aklis and Dirt, you jump over the side of the wagon at the same time. Aklis right on top of the panther, you next to it, and Aklis falls, and you see them grappling like half of the tentacles. Like they're on the panther's back. Because you hit, you have 3 more maneuvers or attacks to perform because this is only one.
Yeah.
So what
But
do you
I don't
do?
know what to do.
Decide. You're on your own right now. Nobody else is there to give you advice in time. Go ahead.
I don't know. I'm just grappling. I don't know what to do.
Just
I'm
grappling.
gonna
Just continue to
grapple
grapple.
for now. Yeah.
If you've grappled someone, you can cause damage by tightening and squeezing them if you want to.
But I
it's
don't want
damage.
to cause damage because that's gonna maybe heal them up.
Yeah, it definitely will. Yes.
You should try making out with them
Maybe.
to see if that.
Could help someone.
Okay.
I don't know how.
Now, helping is your entire action. That can't work as a maneuver. No. So, okay. So that means that now it's Dirt's turn. You failed. Do you want to use the Kiosometer? Roll a d8.
One is good, right?
I don't remember. I
One.
think we've had one once before.
Okay, so one is called Second Wind. It says you fail, but you regain 1 hit die worth of hit points. So
Oh no!
you actually...
No.
It's
You
usually
Yeah.
a
take it
good.
away.
I can let you forego the hit points if you don't want to heal up anymore. That's fine. But the Kiosometer does go up to 9.
But nothing happens.
No, nothing. The spell, the action itself still fails.
Well,
Okay.
that's dumb.
So we're ending this round with Aklis grappling the panther. Still not sure what
can
to
I
do.
remove the hit points? Because that would be the equivalent in this anti-hit point scenario.
Losing? Oh, second win. Actually, you know what? That makes sense. Roll a D. Whatever. What is your hit die? D6.
Yes.
Roll a D6 and lose that amount of hit points as much as you want. Sure. 1. Okay, you lost 1 hit point. Sure.
Such
Awesome.
a weird world where
I'm
we're like,
crushing
I want to
it.
lose hit
You want
points.
to lose hit points. Yeah, you feel some of it runs out, but you're still there.
It's like when my ADHD medication starts to like normalize.
Aklis, you hear Transformer, and Transformer goes, "This is shameful. You need to lead them, not to follow other people's examples. You need to decide what to do, and that thing is usually to end life that needs to end. Do it
It's true.
now." Aklis, what do you do in this third round of combat?
I have a question first.
Yes.
I'm over twice my maximum hit points.
Yes. Tell me when you
That's
get to
okay.
3 times, because right
Yeah.
now
We
Okay.
got closer
Yes.
to the tree.
Sure.
you're closer to the 3. You can go over more.
I'm gonna try and cut off the beast's head.
All right. That is an impressive feat. So you want to kill it at once without letting it a chance
Yeah.
to regenerate. I like that very much. Let's do that.
Clever.
Let's
It's an
do that.
Atlas
Okay,
thing to
and a
do.
second, Grubble, you cast your spell like you wanted to do before, trying to
Exactly.
trap the panther by leaving Triss out of the bubble.
Indeed.
Okay, Triss, what is your action?
Triss is like very happy
Mm-hmm.
right now. Triss is
Very happy where they are right now.
And I mean, not enjoying the cleaning, to be perfectly honest. Does any small cat enjoy the cleaning as defined by the older cat? Probably not. But in like a strange way, also enjoying it a little bit because it feels like love. And so the tentacles and the purring noises are a bit like they're a little muffled and they're.
Okay. Cool. And Dirt, what is your action this round?
I am gonna try it again. I
The
still
creva-
think the
the
crevice,
crevice
yeah.
spell.
Yeah.
Sure. Pay hit points. Roll the die Atlas. You to cut off its head. You need to let go and step back. Okay, you let go of the panther for that.
Yeah.
You need
I
to have a
guess.
place a room to swing. So go ahead and do
Sure.
that and roll an attack. And Grubble, spend hit points. Use your reagent if you want to.
The agent,
Go.
yeah, it's got 6.
Dirt,
It's a four, sorry.
because last time he like jumped down, it didn't work, so he's gonna kind of like look at his fist and just again smash his fist into the ground. And because it costs extra hit points, and now he's like super lit, like he is just on this huge rush. He's gonna watch that crack form, hopefully directly underneath the panther, and just be like, yeah, like he is just going all out, super stoked.
So you pay the hit points, which means you heal up again from the crevice instead of losing hit points. Grubble,
Oh, right, my intelligence.
did you already use your reagent?
I did before I jumped up, and it gave me 4.
Gave you 4. Okay, cool. So you use your sticky bubble. You got a 6, which is a success. That's cool. So you all succeeded. What that means is that Dirt, you
Everybody fails.
you cast the crevice. The panther hangs on to dear, well, not to dear life because it wouldn't die if it falls down, but it hangs on with several tentacles to the edge of the crevice, trying to claw its way back up. It's quick.
I go up to it. I put my claws into its hands, and I say, "I killed your father."
Okay, that is very cool, but I want someone else to have a chance. Oh, I'm out of focus. I want someone else to have a chance to do their thing,
Welcome to my world.
which means this is
Yeah,
when
yeah,
Atlas gets to step forward. And what does it look like when you take its hat off?
I take a step back, and the beast is trying to get back on its feet, but I'm quicker and stronger. So I
Again, the
pull out
crevice
my
happens now, right? The dirt hits the ground again. The crevice opens underneath the panther, and it's holding on to the edge of the crevice just with its
yeah, and
with its front feet.
I guess I already had my sword out because I pulled it out earlier. So I go there and I like lift my sword and I say, "Long live the king!" And I like I push it off the edge.
Yes. Okay.
I
Push it
don't
off.
say "Long live the king." I just I cut its head off.
You decapitated, yes, of course. That's
I-
what you were
yeah.
going for,
I was,
and that's
I
what
was
happened.
really interested when you said "Long live the king." I'm like, oh, Atlas is a monarchist. This is news.
The head flies out of the crevice and rolls down on the ground next to your feet.
Atlas
The
believes in
body-
meritocracy, actually.
The body slips down from the edge into the crevice and disappears into the deep crevice in the ground. You only have the head left next to you to see the remains of your heroic actions. Dirt, you get back up on your feet and you see what you've created, this crevice in this forest, and you know that you'll need to come to terms with exactly what you're willing to do to nature around you. This is something that nature is going to take time to heal. This is a wound you've created, which you need to figure out, is it okay now that you actually can feel the pain that this is causing the jungle around you?
So what Dirt would do, I was just thinking about this, is once we're safe and out of combat.
So do
Dirt
that
would
when you're
try-
safe. Don't
Yeah.
Not right now. Grubble, you cast your spell and you succeeded. That means that Triss, you suddenly you're pushed down to the ground, like your head on your paws right now. You're being forcefully like nuzzled and licked by an overprotective panther, and then suddenly it stops. You look up and you see that the panther is enclosed in a tough, sticky bubble, which is not letting it escape. It's It's pawing at it gently, trying to realize what is happening. It's quite surprised. What do you do, Triss?
Pop back. I don't understand.
Okay. As far as I'm concerned, we're out of combat, so you can just decide and describe what you do, everyone, on your own free time.
I want to jump down and go up to Triss and try and move Triss away from the Octopanther in the bubble.
Okay.
If Grubble's coming at me, Triss thinks like Triss watched what was happening. Triss tries to hide under the bubble and hide under the panther.
Triss? Triss?
Triss,
What's
where
happening?
are they?
Are we
What's
playing
happened to
game?
Triss?
Triss?
It's you're not an Octopanther.
Triss, are you feeling all right?
Triss just kind of like tries to bat like very badly, like very ineffectually, sort of bats at you and keeps like huddling against the bubble.
Can I try and lift them, or?
Sure. I mean, if you can catch them.
Triss, would you like to come and sit on my shoulder?
Triss. We're your friends, Triss.
Do you remember? This is Dirt. This is Grabble
Oh.
Bomblin, Esquire, and I am Atlas V. Darkmoor.
And,
How
and
come
this,
you didn't say my last name? You said the other ones.
this is
Right.
Marigold.
You're right. I guess I sort of think of you as just a person with one name, like
Like Mononi.
like people who don't exist in this universe.
I do exist.
What about Marigold? Does Marigold have a surname? That might help Triss remember.
Horseface.
Well, that's kind of cruel.
What? She comes from the long line of horse faces.
It's not cruel if you're a horse. It's a compliment, surely.
Why
Oh,
would it be cruel
Donkey
otherwise?
face would be cruel.
To a horse, true.
One of the merriest of them all. So I think if you've all kind of gone to these very quiet voices and the Panthers in the bubble and everyone's talking, I mean, Triss might sort of slowly come forward. I don't think they lose the mimic though. They're still an Octopanther, but maybe they'll come a little bit closer.
So, Triss, a question for you. Do you want to roll for what happens inside you next, or do you want to just roleplay it?
I'm fine with rolling and using whatever comes from that.
So I'd like you to roll wisdom and get advantage because your guardian for the cause ability, a trait, is definitely relevant for this.
Okay.
Cool. I think what comes up in your mind, except for what already is there, is that these people, you're in a dangerous situation. These are the faces of people that you're supposed to care about, care enough in order to want to be there for them. This is the thing that maybe gets a little bit clearer now.
If that comes clear, I think Triss would in many ways would drop the mimicry, would go back to looking like Triss.
Dirt's gonna come over and just care about Triss, hoping that Triss will use their ability of empathy to also care back.
Triss is not aware of that at all, but is like looking up in Dirt, and you just hear, Dirt? Is everything
Triss.
okay?
Hello, do you want a hug? Okay, and I give a gentle hug, like when you hug a baby that's not yours.
Triss is still very confused, and Triss is still like very much over the hit points and is, I think, quite muddled. But Triss recognizes everyone to an extent, in a sense of like, oh, they're important. I need to care about them. And so that's sort of where Triss has kind of come back to, is that Dirt and Atlas and Triss and Grubble and Marigold specifically are the things that matter the most. and Triss, after Dirt's hug, walks up to Aklis and sort of waits, hoping to be put on his shoulder.
I grab them, I guess, if I'm able to, and I put them on my shoulder.
Acquiesce.
Waves at Rebel.
Okay.
Wow. Well done, everyone. It's good to have you two back as well, Trackless. By the way, we named you Trackless while you were unconscious.
Which one of us?
Two of you. It's like the name that you are.
It was a very important decision to save time.
Right. Do you two also have a name?
No, that would be ridiculous. Why would we have one of those?
Oh, right. All right, I assume.
Although I suppose, as we're traveling closer to the tree, I suppose we could come up with one in case in the future one of you two needed to get both of our attentions at once.
Groot!
Do you like that, Gert? Gert?
But I don't know what. I just heard like a bird chirping.
Gert! Or Grubble.
What about Durble?
Grubble.
I like Durble.
Drubble Tubble. Drubble Trouble.
I like Durble as well. Well, since Dirt and I both like Durble, we should go with Durble, no?
Not Groot.
Because we had so many choices in our name.
I think that Groot is hard for me to say.
Well, we don't have to say it though, do we, Dirt? They're saying
True.
it to us.
Because now Dirt knows exactly which direction you should go. You're talking and conversing about what exactly different names for different combinations of you should be. None of you notice that you're getting closer and closer to the tree for the next several minutes. Dirt, yeah.
I would have done something before we started leaving.
Oh, I see.
Out of combat.
Matt indicated that you're already going, so I thought maybe.
Yeah.
I
you were
apologize.
walking.
That's
but
okay.
Dirt, go ahead.
It was about the crevice. So, Dirt's gonna stand and look at it, and he's gonna feel bad, and he's gonna hear whether it's for real, because he's still on the mushrooms, right? So whether it's for real or if it's not, he's gonna hear like, oh man, oh hey, oh look what you done, bro, like that kind of whatever. And he's gonna sit and he's gonna think, and Trent now speaking, I think Dirt has two options. Either using a new Manipulate Earth spell to like suture with like tree roots and try to like regrow, or a lava-based spell to try to fill in the crevice with lava. And therefore, I assume there's an Octopanther just like pacing back and forth down at the bottom of this crevice.
Yes.
Did you chop the head off?
Of the one.
Oh,
but
right,
wasn't
yeah,
the
it's
other
dead.
one?
Its head is off.
No, but isn't it a Hydroctopanther?
It has 3 heads now.
So I think Dirt thinks probably the least destructive one is going to be some sort of like a root suture, like a rooture, to try and get the trees to like reach out and grab each other and pull the earth back to like closed.
Okay, let's invent a new spell. I think this is going to be how much does crevice cost? How many hit points?
5.
5. So this is going to be 5 as well, because it closes a crevice about the same size, and you need to pay 5 because again you don't have anything to power these spells with except your own hit points. So you go up 5 hit points, 5 more. This still doesn't get you to your double maximum, right?
Not
Still
yet,
not
not
there.
yet.
Okay, and
Close though.
roll wisdom.
Nice.
And slowly, you all watch as first small roots of plants that were torn apart start mending, and you see them as like a network that starts connecting from the opposite sides of the crevice. And then slowly the earth itself closes as if it's being drawn by the roots until the crevice is no more. There's only a little irregularity, like a tiny scar several meters long along the ground that marks Dirt's crevice spell. So yeah. Okay, are we ready to keep walking now towards the tree? Mm-hmm.
I think
Okay.
so.
Yeah.
Cool. So, Atlas, the wrongness keeps getting stronger and stronger, wronger and wronger, as
I hate it here.
if you will. It's whatever is around you. It's not truly alive, and you are also, Atlas, on the way to not really being alive, being something that is animated by life force, which is not naturally there, right? Like a living thing, a plant or a human or a person has life inside them, and then they get wounded, they get healed, it runs out. At some point, they die, and it ends, and that's the natural order of things. Around you, there's life force that just keeps things alive, no matter if they're supposed to die a natural death or a violent death or for any other reason. They just keep being alive, in whatever way possible. And at some point, it gets so strong that you're not sure things can even die anymore at all from this point onward. The closer to the tree you get, something is very unnatural and wrong in this area. You walk along, you ride along. Some of you walk, some of you ride on the wagon, and you reach a point where the growth stops, and you pass like the one last wall of plants that gets pushed aside by Dirt's Pathify spell and reveals what's in front of you, and you see it. You see the tree. It is just as large as you saw, Triss, in your vision. It's, in fact, exactly this point of view you were standing on, right at the edge of the undergrowth is exactly the angle you saw this tree from, and you see the huge trunk, which is several meters in diameter. It's huge, thick, gnarly roots that start the point they start from the trunk of the tree is taller than Dirt and Atlas if they stood on each other's shoulders. The tree is so big, even the roots
I'm on bottom.
go so high up. The tree is like 30 meters tall before the canopy starts, and the top of the tree is a whole forest unto itself. This amount of branches and leaves and growth would be called an entire forest anywhere else in the world. Right here, it's just one tree. This thick mass of thick branches, forking into smaller and smaller ones, and ending in a dark, bright, vivid green canopy of leaves. And you see, Triss, you notice exactly where the seed is. It's one single seed, the same size of the one that you have in the jar, only this one is alive, and you feel the difference. All of you feel the difference from where you're standing. You feel the life radiating out of it. Atlas, Dirt, this is the source of what you were feeling this whole time. This is exactly where this is coming from.
This is evil stuff.
This is it. It's not the whole tree. It's the one seed, which is the source of the whole thing. Yeah, you're there.
Gravel, I know what we can do. You have the springy boots, and we've practiced. You can throw me, and I can get the seed.
Did you say grapple or durable? Because if you were saying durable, then I should listen. But if not, I won't pay attention.
Your conversation is cut short by a distant thundering sound. The ground rumbles underneath your feet. Dirt, maybe for you it's a pleasant feeling, but for all the rest of you it's quite ominous. And from behind this tree, a huge animal emerges. It doesn't notice you yet. It's a big lizard, walking on 4 muscular legs. Its back is full of spines, and its tail is long and
It's a stegosaurus.
thick. It has like sharp teeth and a long jaw full of these teeth that can probably snap someone your size in half with just one bite. It's huge. It's like, think think a Triceratops only the size of, or a Stegosaurus only the size of a Tyrannosaurus Rex. It's like huge. And this thing is lumbering around this tree slowly, looking for things to eat. The last thing we'll see before we end this episode is behind you, where the five of you still don't notice. There's shadows emerging. Somebody is walking on the path, following you in your footsteps. And we'll meet them when we start next week's episode. I want to say thank you very much for everyone who's joined us and watched this episode. Thank you to my players, and thank you for everyone who will watch this in the future on YouTube. So also thank you guys.
This is the second most annoying cliffhanger you've ever left us on.
It is.
In 3 weeks.
First was everyone literally falling off the edge of a cliff.
What was that?
You fell down a
my fault.
bottomless pit.
Yeah,
that
down
was
the bottomless
like-
pit.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
And I did it on purpose.
That's a bigger cliffhanger, surely.
Yeah, quite. Yeah, a bit bigger.
Cliffhanger, really.
But that one was your choice. You just, I mean, Dirt decided.
Oh yeah,
to
I
jump
guess
off.
that wasn't.
Oh yeah, blame the victim.
Yes,
This is the biggest cliffhanger you've caused.
exactly.
That's
It was
true.
my decision. Thank you also to
hanging by
people.
a root.
Sorry, what?
I just said we were hanging by a root. I was
Oh,
trying to-
yeah. That might
Likes to
be
be.
okay. Never mind. Thank you very much, everyone who's followed us in the last couple of days. Dark Kyle 59 and the Timkins. Thank you very much for
Thank
being
you.
new followers of the channel. Yeah, I think. Is there anything else I want to say? Oh, there's
What's
actually
happening on
some announcements
Saturday,
coming up.
Edamar?
But that'll happen next week only. Yeah, so there's going to be some for about more things you can do in order to support the channel next week, and even get some nice things for it delivered to you. Thank you very much again for joining us, for watching us, and till next time, play hard, stay safe, and we will see you around.
Wear a mask.